Assalamualaikum. I am Taiba and you are watching your own channel Audio Visual Books. In the journey of vision, we have started the book The Secrets of the Self by Allama Muhammad Iqbal. With another poem, let's start. Showing that the purpose of the Muslim's life is to exalt the word of Allah and that the jihad, war against unbelievers, if it be prompted by land hunger, is unlawful in the religion of Islam. Imbue thine heart with the tincture of Allah. Imbue thine heart with the tincture of Allah. Give honor and glory to love. The Muslim's nature prevails by mean of love. The Muslim, if he be not loving, is an infidel. Upon God depends his saying and not saying, his eating, drinking, and sleeping. In his will, that which God wills becomes lost. How small a man believe this saying. In his will, that which God wills becomes lost. How small a man believes this saying. He encamps in the field of the there is no God but Allah. In the word, he is a witness to mankind. His high state is attested by the Prophet who was sent to men and jinn, the most truthful of witness. Leave words and seek the spiritual state. Shed the light of God over the darkness of thy deeds, albeit clad is kingly robe, live as a dervish. Live wakeful and meditating on God. Whatever thou dost, let it be thine aim therein to draw nigh to God, that his glory may be made manifest by thee. Peace becomes an evil if its object be aught else. War is good if its object is God. War is good if its object is God. If God be not exalted by our words, war dishonors the people. The Holy Sheikh Mian Mir Wali. The Holy Sheikh Mian Mir Wali, by the light of whose soul every hidden thing was revealed. His feet were firmly planted on the path of Muhammad. He was a flute for the impassioned music of love. His tomb keeps our cities safe from harm and causes the beams of true religion to shine on us. Heaven stooped its brow to its threshold. The Emperor of India was one of his deceivers. Now this monarch had sown the seed of ambition in his heart and was resolved on conquest. The flames of vain desire from light in him. He was teaching his sword to ask, is there any more? In the Deccan was a great noise of war. His army stood on the battlefield. He went to the Sheikh of heaven high dignity, that he might receive his blessings. The Muslim turns from this word to God and strengthens policy with prayer. The Sheikh made no answer to Emperor's speech. The assembly of dervishes was all ears, until a disciple in his hand a silver coin opened his lips and broke the silence, saying, accept this poor offering from me. Accept this poor offering from me, O guide of them, that have lost the way to God. My limbs were bathed in sweat of labor before I put away a dirham in my skirt. The Sheikh said, this money ought to be given to our Sultan, who is a beggar wearing the rampant of a king. Though he holds sway over sun, moon, and star, our emperor is most penniless of mankind. His eye is fixed on the table of strangers. The fire of his hunger hath consumed a whole world. His sword is followed by famine and plague. His building lays wide land waste. The folk are carrying out because of his indigence. His empty handedness causes him to plunder the weak. His power is an enemy to all. Humankind are the caravan, and he, the brigand. In his self delusion and ignorance, he calls village by the name of empire, both the royal troops and those of enemy are cloven in twain by the sword of his hunger. The beggar's hunger consumes his own soul, but the Sultan's hunger destroys state and religion. The beggar's hunger consumes his own soul, but the Sultan's hunger destroys state and religion. Whoso shall draw the sword for anything except Allah, his sword is shattered in his own breast. Precepts written for the Muslims of India by Mir Najat Naqshband, who is generally known as Baba Saharai. O thou that hast grown from earth like a rose, O thou that hast grown from earth like a rose, thou too art born the womb of self. Do not abandon self. Do not abandon self, persist therein. Be a drop of water and drink of the ocean. Be a drop of water and drink of the ocean, glowing with the light of a self. Glowing with the light of self as thou art. Make self strong and thou art endure. Thou gettest profit from the trade. Thou gainest riches by preserving this commodity. Thou art being and art thou afraid of not being. Thou art being and art thou afraid of not being. Dear friend, thy understanding is at fault. Since I am acquainted with the harmony of life, I will tell thee what is the secret of the life. To sink into thyself like the pearl, then to emerge from thine inward solitude. To collect sparks beneath the ashes and become a flame and dazzle men's eye. Go burn the house of 40 years' tribulation, move round thyself, be a circular flame. What is life but to be freed from moving round others? What is life but to be freed from moving round others and to regard thyself as a holy temple? Beat thy wings and escape from the direction of earth. Like birds, be safe from falling. Unless thou art a bird, thou wilt do wisely. Not to build thy nest on the top of a cave, O thou that seekest to acquire knowledge. I say over to thee the message of the sage of Rome. Knowledge, if it lie on the skin, is a snake. Knowledge, if thou take it to heart, is a friend. Knowledge, if it is lie on the skin, is a snake. Knowledge, if thou take it to heart, is a friend. Hast thou heard how the master of Rome gave lectures on philosophy at Aleppo? fast in the bonds of intellectual proofs, drifting over the dark and stormy sea of understanding. Amos is unilluminated by love's Sinai, ignorant of love and of love's passion. He discoursed on skepticism and Neoplatonism and strung many a brilliant pearl of metaphysics. He unraveled the problems of a peripatetics. He unraveled the problems of the peripatetics. The light of his thought made clear whatever was obscure. Heaps of books lay around and in front of him, and on his lips was the key of and on his lips was the key to all their mysteries. Shams Tabriz, directed by Kamal, sought his way to the college of Jalaluddin Rumi and cried out, "What is all this noise and babble? What is all this noise and babble? What are all these syllogisms and judgments and demonstrations?" "Peace, O fool!" exclaimed the Maulvi. "Do not laugh at the doctrines of the sages. Get thee out of my college. This is argument and discussion. What hast thou to do with it? My discourse is beyond. My discourse is beyond thy understanding. It brightens the glass of perception." These words increased the anger of Shams Tabrizi and caused a fire to burst forth from his soul. The lightning of his look fell on the earth, and the glow of his breath made the dust spring into flames. The spiritual fire burned the intellectual stake, and clean consumed the library of the philosopher. The Maulvi, being a stranger to love's miracle and unversed in love's harmonies, cried, "How dost thou kindle this fire, which hath burned the books of the philosophers?" The Sheikh answered, "O unbelieving Muslim, this is vision and ecstasy. What hast thou to do with it? My state is beyond thy thought. My flame is the alchemist's elixir. Thou hast drawn thy substance from the snow of philosophy. The cloud of thought sheds nothing but hailstones. Kindle a fire in thy rubble, foster a flame in thy earth. The Muslim's knowledge is perfected by spiritual fervor. The meaning of Islam is renounce what shall pass away. When Abraham escaped from the bondage of that which sets, he sat unhurt in the midst of flames. Thou hast cast knowledge of God behind thee, and squandered thy religion for the sake of a loaf. Thou art hot in pursuit of antimony. Thou art unaware of the blackness of thine own eye. Seek the fountain of life from the sword's edge, and the river of paradise from the dragon's mouth. Demand the black stone from the door of the house of idols, and the musk deer's bladder from a mad dog. But do not seek the glow of love from the knowledge of today. But do not seek the glow of love from the knowledge of today. Do not seek the nature of truth from this infidel's cup. Long have I been running to and fro, learning the secrets of the knowledge. Its garden have put me to the trial, and have made me intimate with their roses, tulips, rather, that one not to smell them, like paper roses, a marriage of perfume. Since this garden ceased to enthrall me, I have nested on the paradisal tree. Modern knowledge is the greatest blind. Idol worshipping, idol selling, idol making. Shackling in the prison of phenomena, it has not overleaped the limits of the sensible. It has fallen down in the crossing the bridge of life. It has laid the knife to its own throat. Its fire is cold as the flame of the tulip. Its flames are frozen like hail. Its nature remains untouched by the glow of love. It is never engaged in joyness. It is never engaged in joyless search. Love is the plateau that heals the sickness of the mind. The mind's melancholy is cured by its lancet. The whole world bows in adoration to love. Love is the Mahmud that conquers the Somnath of intellect. Modern science lakes this old wine in its cup. Its nights are not loud with passionate player. Thou hast misprized thine own cypress, and deemed tall the cypress of others, like the reed. Thou hast emptied thyself of self, and given thine heart to the music of others. O thou that beggest morsels from the other's table, wilt thou seek thine own kind in another's shop? O thou that beggest morsel from an other's table, wilt thou seek thine own be kind? Wilt thou seek thine own kind in an other's shop? The Muslim's assembly place is burned up the lamps of strangers. His mosque is consumed by the sparks of monasticism. When the deer fled from the sacred territory of Mecca, when the deer fled from the sacred territory of Makkah, the hunter's arrow pierced her side. The leaves of the rose are scattered like its scent. O thou that has fled from the self, come back to it. O trustee of the wisdom of the Quran, find the lost unity again. We who keep the gate of the citadel of Islam have become unbelievers by neglecting the watchword of Islam. The ancient Sakis bowl is shattered. The ancient Sakis bowl is shattered. The wine party of Hijaz is broken up. The Kaaba is filled with our idols. Infidelity mocks at our Islam. Our Sheikh hath gambled Islam away for love of idols and made a rosary of the Zunar. Our spiritual directions on their rank to their white hairs and are the laughingstock of children in the street. Their heart, their hearts bear no impress of the faith, but those the idol of sensuality. Every long-haired fellow wears the garb of a dervish. Alas for these traffickers in religion! Day and night they are traveling about with disciples, insensible to the great needs of Islam. Their eyes are without light, like the Narcissus. Their eyes are without light like the narcissus, their breasts devoid of spiritual wealth. Preachers and Sufis all worship worldliness alike. The prestige of the pure religion is ruined. Our preacher fixed his eye on the pagoda, and the mufti of the faith sold his verdict. After this, oh friends, what are we to do? Our guide turns his face towards the wine house. Please like and subscribe.